Join me today as we explore Cathay Pacific's Wing First and Business Class, Qantas Business Class, and Pier First Class lounges at Hong Kong International Airport. Welcome back to the channel. Today we find ourselves in a taxi on the way to the Hong Kong station to do the in-town check-in. While convenient, navigating it for the first time was confusing. I did, however, get a free taxi ride to the station via a discount on my ticket on the MTR, so that was very cool. The ride was quite affordable compared to my Uber into the city, and I would definitely use this service again in the future. Dropping my bags off was super convenient and quickly handled. The ride on the MTR itself was very nice, and quickly the landscape of the city turned into rural countryside. We had arrived at Hong Kong International Airport. I wanted to say that Hong Kong International Airport was extremely busy today, but to be honest, it probably wasn't. This is probably just a normal day for this absolutely massive airport. Now, I of course couldn't help but check out the Cathay Pacific first class check-in area, even though I had already dropped my bags off at the in-town check-in. This feels like it would have been extremely modern in the early 2000s. I mean, doesn't this just scream Star Trek? Anyways, afterwards, I head to security and immigration. After passing through immigration, immediately on the left is the Wing First Class Lounge. You could easily miss it, so be ready. To enter this lounge, you will need to be a One World Emerald or be flying first class on a One World partner airline. You can also enter with one guest. I headed straight for the dining room to have breakfast. They have a nice buffet selection if you'd like to have a quick breakfast, but also a proper menu. The selection here was fantastic, and honestly one of the best breakfast buffets I've seen at a lounge. Plenty of choices, plenty of fresh food, and it was constantly getting replenished. But almost nobody was eating from this because, after all, there was a set menu. Now, this set menu was fantastic. I went with the Chinese set and the croque monsieur, and boy was it delicious. I also was quite impressed with the time it took. It was out in 4 minutes after I ordered. I kid you not. I also took a brief look at the lunch menu, which looked just as impressive. After breakfast, I headed to the business class lounge to see how the other 97% live. After all, Vox Populi and all of that. It was dreadfully overcrowded, and I even saw a man use his bare hands for the buffet. Why, I never. Just kidding. They had a nice buffet set up, and of course, the world-famous noodle bar. I had eaten at the one in London Heathrow before, and it's quite something. I went to the coffee shop in the lounge to have exactly 2 cream puffs, which were delightful. Watching my waistline and all of that. The lounge was busy but not overcrowded and had several different buffets, which I thought was nice. Plenty of food for everyone. The entrance is very impressive by comparison to the first class section. However, they do share a secret passageway, as you can see here. Once I was safely amongst my own kind again, I took a quick glance at the buffet in the main area of the first class lounge. Like business class, you're not going to be going hungry here. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. And don't forget, you still have that main menu in the restaurant and another buffet there. This is a little over the top. Here's a quick look at the bathroom. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of all dark interiors like this. Like, you can't even see the toilet there. It's a little weird. The bar did have an acceptable liquor selection in my opinion. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I did really appreciate they had this menu for cocktails, giving you a great selection. Otherwise, you'd be guessing what you want to drink, so it's nice they had these front and center. Okay, fortune was on our side today because there was availability for a cabana. Now, sadly, I didn't have 1.5 hours to spare, but I got to check it out for a little bit. And I mean, come on, a private cabana in an airport. Okay, this private space is perfect. With your own bathroom, large makeup style counter, huge sink and daybed, shower, and bathtub. Need to take a breath. The bath products are Bamford. The towels are perfect. This is probably one of the nicest bathrooms I've used in a first class lounge. I would argue it even beats Qatar's first class jacuzzi, just because you have that daybed on top of it. My travel day was just starting, but that didn't stop me from sitting down relaxing with an old-fashioned on that daybed. I mean, this was fantastic, really enjoyable. I wish I had the hour and a half to spend here. Well, like all good things, this needs to come to an end. I need to keep moving and leave behind this amazing lounge. There are many more to explore in this airport, and I don't have that much time. So let's get out of here. Of course, not before having a cheeky shamps at the entrance to the lounge. The selection was very good. Couldn't complain about it at all. Of course, I went for the LP. Funny how I was able to give myself a decent pour, unlike the staff on Global Airlines. Yeah, bit weird, huh? As we exit, we just keep walking across the wing until we reach the Qantas lounge entrance on the far side. Now this lounge is less restrictive on who can use it. Oneworld Sapphire or business class passengers on any Oneworld airline are able to access it. This lounge has a ridiculous amount of seating options spread throughout. Of course, I had to grab a drink at the bar, which was very impressive and close to the entrance to the lounge. They also had this cute neon cat sign near the bar. As you can see, there really are seating options for everyone, even though part of the lounge was actually closed off. There is plenty of room here. Now, unlike the Cathay Pacific lounges, the Qantas Business Lounge only had one buffet. Shocking, I know. But they still provided a lot in this buffet, and I really enjoyed it. They had salad, they had all of those pastries, a nice coffee station, the essential rice cooker, of course, these small dishes of something or another, I wasn't too sure, a generous portion of wine. I mean, there was really a good selection of Australian and international wines here. Not the best champagne, but who's complaining? But the main dishes, now these were incredible. They had 5 hot plates available. The beef was my favorite, actually. The beef and rice, amazing combo. And a soup available as well. While the mini a la carte menu wasn't being served yet, it looked quite good. The food I grabbed tasted wonderful, and if I didn't have access to the first class lounges, I think this is where I would go to spend my time. It was really a great experience, even though it was empty. I think when it fills up, it's not that full. There's just too much space here. But, of course, we need to move along and head on to the next lounge. I grabbed the people mover to head on to the pier, and while on board, met someone I decided to guest into the lounge. I love meeting interesting people in airports, and honestly, I got really focused on our conversation, so I apologize for the lack of video. The complimentary spa was booked up, but did have several 15-minute services to pick from. There was also a tasting menu in the dining room, and here are some of the highlights from that. The beef was amazing. I could have ordered several more. The menu itself was very similar to the wing, with the exception of the tasting menu. I moved on to the bar area and tried the Cafe Delight, and wow, this might be my favorite non-alcoholic drink, even beating the Qatar iced chai. It was so good. I cashed in my VIP points as an Emerald in economy on my next flight and asked for another. I was also served a meal on board, as you can see, but could barely pick at it. I was stuffed. Well, I guess you did join me for flying a little at the end here, but thanks for coming along with me on this journey to the lounges of Hong Kong International Airport.